Book review on Loverose Lane, Return to Dublin Street, Book 1 by Samantha Young. Samantha Young returns to the beloved world of Dublin Street with On Loverose Lane, the first book in the Return to Dublin Street series. This new installment introduces readers to a second generation of characters, picking up the threads of the original series while weaving a fresh and compelling love story. At its heart, this novel is the delightful blend of second chance romance, fake dating, and enemies to lovers tropes set against the vibrant backdrop of Edinburgh, Scotland. Young masterfully crafts a narrative that is emotionally resonant and intensely passionate, making it a welcome addition to her impressive body of work. Plot summary on Loverose Lane by Samantha Young. The first installment in the Return to Dublin Street series revisits the world of Dublin Street, focusing on the next generation. The story centers on Beth Carmichael, the ambitious daughter of Joss and Braden from the original series, and Callan Keane, a famous and somewhat brooding Scottish professional footballer. The story begins with Beth, who is building her career as the owner of a social media management company in Edinburgh. She's driven, independent, and focused on her business, leaving little room for personal distractions. Her life takes an unexpected turn when she discovers her new upstairs neighbor is none other than Callan Keane. Callan and Beth share a history. Years prior, as teenagers, they had a brief but intense connection. However, their relationship ended abruptly, leaving Callan with unresolved feelings and a grudge against Beth. He believes she hurt him, and their initial interactions as neighbors are marked by a palpable tension filled with witty banter and underlying animosity. Callan is now a successful and well-known footballer, but he carries emotional baggage from a difficult and past heartbreaks, making him guarded and reluctant to form close relationships. Beth is surprised and somewhat annoyed to find Callan in her life again. She's busy with her business and doesn't have time for the complications he represents. However, circumstances conspire to bring them together. Beth needs a fake date to impress a potential client and secure a lucrative deal. Callan, on the other hand, needs Beth's help to connect with her father, Brad, and his own business interests. They strike a deal. Beth will act as Callan's fake girlfriend, and Callan will use his connection to introduce Beth to her father. It seems like a mutually beneficial arrangement with clear boundaries. They agree to a 6-week, no-strings-attached fake relationship. Despite their initial intentions, the undeniable chemistry between Beth and Callan makes it difficult to maintain a purely professional relationship as they spend time together pretending to be a couple. Lines between their fake relationship and reality begin to blur. They find themselves drawn to each other, and the animosity that initially defined their interactions gives way to a simmering attraction. Beth and Callan both have their own vulnerabilities and emotional baggage. Beth, despite her confident exterior, struggles with anxiety and the pressure to succeed. She fears failure and often overworks herself to maintain control. Callan, beneath his gruff exterior, is deeply scarred by his past. He comes from a difficult family background and has been hurt in previous relationships, leading him to build walls around his heart and avoid emotional attachments. As they navigate their fake relationship, they begin to see beyond each other's defenses. Beth discovers Callan's hidden sensitivity and the pain that fuels his guarded nature. Callan, in turn, sees Beth's vulnerability and the strength she possesses despite her anxieties. They start to open up to each other, sharing their fears, insecurities, and past experiences. Their shared history also comes back into play. They are forced to confront the reasons for their abrupt separation as teenagers. Misunderstandings and miscommunications from the past are brought to light, allowing them to understand each other's perspectives and begin to heal old wounds. Callan learns the truth about the circumstances that led to their breakup, and Beth gains insight into the depth of Callan's emotional pain. As the 6-week agreement draws to a close, both Beth and Callan find themselves grappling with feelings they didn't expect. Beth realizes that she's falling for Callan, seeing the man he has become and recognizing the qualities she admired in him as a teenager. Callan, however, is torn between his growing feelings for Beth and his fear of being hurt again. He has vowed never to let anyone close enough to break his heart, and he struggles to reconcile his past experiences with the possibility of with Beth. The story explores the challenges they face in overcoming their past hurts and insecurities. Callan must learn to trust again and believe that he is worthy of love, while Beth must confront her anxieties and allow herself to be vulnerable. The novel also delves into themes of family, friendship, and the importance of communication in building healthy relationships. On Loverose Lane is a story of second chances, healing, and the power of love to overcome past pain. It follows Beth and Callan as they navigate their complex emotions, confront their shared history, and ultimately decide whether they are willing to take a risk on each other and build the future together. The novel blends steamy romance with emotional depth, exploring the complexities of human relationships and the journey towards finding lasting love. A new generation takes center stage. Fans of the On Dublin Street series will be thrilled to revisit familiar faces, albeit in new roles. The focus shifts to Beth Carmichael, the eldest daughter of Braden and Joss, one of the most cherished couples from the original series. Beth has carved out her own path as a successful entrepreneur running a thriving social media management company. She embodies the strong-willed, independent spirit of her parents, yet she also grapples with her own unique set vulnerabilities. Beth is portrayed as a dynamic and relatable protagonist. She's ambitious, driven, and fiercely protective of her family and career. However, beneath her polished exterior lies a vulnerability that many readers will find sympathetic. Her struggles with anxiety, particularly her fear of failure and the pressure to maintain control, add depth and complexity to her character. Young handles these aspects of Beth's personality with sensitivity, making her authentic and grounded. The male lead, Callan Keane, is a Scottish professional footballer who moves into the apartment above Beth. Callan is initially presented as brooding, grumpy, and somewhat of a stereotypical player. He's undeniably attractive and successful, but he carries a significant amount of emotional baggage. His difficult upbringing and past heartbreaks have led him to build walls around his heart, making him wary of vulnerability and reluctant to form lasting attachments. Callan's character arc is one of the most compelling aspects of the novel. As the story unfolds, Young skillfully peels back his layers, revealing the wounded and insecure man beneath the tough exterior. His journey is one of healing and learning to trust again, and Young portrays this transformation with nuance and emotional depth. Second chance romance with a twist. One of the central themes of On Loverose Lane is the idea of second chances. Beth and Callan share a history that dates back to their teenage years. They had a brief, intense connection that ended abruptly, leaving both of them with unresolved feelings. When they unexpectedly reconnect as adults, they are forced to confront their shared past and the misunderstandings that drove them apart. The novel explores how past experiences can shape our present relationships and how healing wounds is essential for finding happiness. Both Beth and Callan must confront their past traumas and learn to overcome their fears in order to have a chance at a future together. This second chance element adds a layer of emotional complexity to the story, making their journey all the more compelling. The allure of the fake dating trope. Young expertly employs the fake dating trope to bring Beth and Callan together. Circumstances dictate that they enter into a temporary, mutually beneficial arrangement. Beth needs a convincing date to impress a potential client, and Callan needs Beth's connections to her father to further his own business interests. This arrangement provides ample opportunity for the two characters to interact, leading to both humorous and charged situations. The fake relationship allows Beth and Callan to spend time together without the pressure of a real relationship. As they navigate their roles as a pretend couple, they begin to see each other in a new light. The forced proximity and shared experiences allow them to break down their initial defenses and discover the genuine connection that exists between them. Young uses the fake dating trope to create a delicious tension between the characters. The reader is drawn into their witty banter, their undeniable chemistry, and the slow burn of their growing attraction. The trope also allows for moments of humor as Beth and Callan navigate the awkwardness and absurdity of pretending to be in love. Emotional depth and character development beyond the romance. On Loverose Lane delves into deeper emotional themes. Both Beth and grapple with personal struggles that add depth and complexity to their characters. Beth's anxiety and fear of failure are portrayed with sensitivity, making her a relatable and sympathetic protagonist. Callan's emotional baggage stemming from the difficult upbringing and past heartbreaks is also explored in detail. Young skillfully portrays his journey towards healing and vulnerability. The novel also touches on themes of family and friendship. Beth's close-knit family, including appearances from characters from the original On Dublin Street series, adds a sense of warmth and familiarity to the story. Callan's relationships with his teammates provide moments of camaraderie and humor, and they also play a role in helping him to confront his emotional bearers. A steamy and satisfying romance. On Loverose Lane is, at its core, a romance novel, and Young delivers on that front with her signature blend of passion and sensuality. The chemistry between Beth and Callan is palpable from their very first encounter, and it intensifies as their fake relationship progresses. Young masterfully builds the sexual tension between them, creating a slow burn that culminates in intensely satisfying and steamy scenes. The novel strikes a balance between emotional intimacy and physical passion. The intimate moments between Beth and Count are not only sexually charged, but also emotionally revealing. They use physical connection to communicate their feelings, their vulnerabilities, and their growing love for each other. The world of Dublin Street revisited for fans of the original. On Dublin Street series, Von Loverose Lane offers a welcome return to a beloved world. Young seamlessly integrates familiar characters and settings, providing a sense of continuity and nostalgia. Seeing Braden and Joss's parents and witnessing the dynamics of Beth's extended family is a treat for longtime readers. However, On Loverose Lane also stands on its own as an engaging and satisfying read for those new to the series. Enough background information to allow readers to fully immerse themselves in the story without having read the previous books. Final thoughts. On Loverose Lane is a captivating and emotionally resonant romance novel that successfully launches the Return to Dublin Street series. Samantha Young has crafted a compelling love story with well-developed characters, a satisfying plot, and her signature blend of passion and emotional depths. The novel is a celebration of second chances, the power of vulnerability, and the enduring allure of a well-told love story. The book's strengths lie in its engaging character, its exploration of complex emotional themes, and its ability to balance steamy romance with heartfelt moments. Whether you're a longtime fan of Samantha Young or a newcomer to her work, On Loverose Lane is sure to leave you wanting more. It's a highly recommended read for fans of contemporary romance, second chance love stories, and anyone looking for a satisfying and emotionally resonant escape.